Hey everyone, Nick Espinoza, your chief security fanatic here, and today I'm asking the question, is Apple about to kill the Facebook ad revenue model for good? And I think they might be able to do this. And in terms of Facebook, let me go find my tiniest violin. Now, here's what's going on, and this is coming from various sources over the last couple of days, but Facebook has warned that Apple's planned changes to iOS 14 will disproportionately affect their product audience network due to its heavy dependence on app advertising. Now, Facebook's audience network helps developers and publishers monetize their mobile apps and websites by showing highly targeted ads that match the interests of the user on their device. Apple in June announced very specific updates to iOS 14 that, among other changes, requires apps to ask users for permission to collect and share data using Apple's device identifier. Now, in a blog post aimed at developers and publishers, Facebook said that Apple's planned policy changes would impact the business's ability to market themselves and monetize through ads on iOS 14. This is obviously the new operating system that Apple has been developing. The company issued certain or specific recommendations to help partners prepare for this policy change, while developers are awaiting more details on this policy in that sense. So, and I quote, "While it's difficult to quantify the impact to publishers and developers at this point with so many unknowns, in testing, we've seen more than a 50% drop in audience network publisher revenue when personalization was removed from the app ad install campaigns." Meaning, as soon as iOS users got control of their own data and they started denying this targeted advertising and data collection that Facebook has literally based their entire wealth on, they saw revenue drop by 50%. Now, following these changes, Facebook, which usually uses the identifiers for advertisers to basically help target ads to specific devices, said that it is not going to collect these identifiers on its own apps on iOS 14 devices. So if you're on iOS 13 or below or Android, they will still collect this, in whichever way the operating system allows them to. But I think this is a really good change. And despite my issues that I have with Apple in terms of them, in 2015, removing antivirus, from that, which basically gives users a false sense of security on their devices, that I think is a very good thing that is going to happen, because quite frankly, Apple is returning control of what you can and cannot allow onto your device at such a granular level that it's directly impacting Facebook's ability to basically data mine the bejesus out of you and then give it to their advertisers. Now, the fallout from this is going to be those app developers that rely on, let's say, revenue, to sustain their living. And there are plenty of developers out there that are good people, that are legitimate, that are not making, $10 billion a year or millions of dollars a year. They've got an app that does something very specific. But typically, and I would say this, a lot of apps are developed essentially with this in mind and generate a vast amount of revenue in mind, when these apps are also, like Facebook, relying on data mining the heck out of you to actually make money. So who cares about the product that they're developing? And I think that's the balance that we have to make. There's going to be a lot of apps out there that I would gladly pay for because they improve my productivity or my entertainment or whatever that is. And so they don't necessarily need the extra ad revenue, and they've been collecting it. So who cares if they shut it off, in that sense, because I think that they should have my best interest as their consumer in mind. But conversely, those ads that are 100% free because we are the product, those may be going the way of the dodo, and Facebook may have to come and figure out a new way to actually make money that doesn't involve deeply data mining us. The other point I want to make on this is that I really, really, really hope that Google is paying attention to this. Google, who also generates billions of dollars every year on ad revenue, I think is probably less likely to do what they did. But Android is a slightly different product, and if Google maintains some semblance of control over that and allows Android users to get as granular, and by virtue of competition, we may see the next version of Android do what iOS 14 from Apple is doing and give us that control for those third-party developers. I think that is an excellent thing, and I think that could be a paradigm shift in the entire development community in the ecosystems of both Apple and Android. And I think from a data privacy standpoint, that is a more than welcome change. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, but that is your news of the day. And please like, share, follow me here on Facebook and Twitter at NickAESP. And please feel free to subscribe to me at YouTube as well. And as always, stay safe and stay online. Thanks, guys.